This is the turnoff to Murdock Beach, or Fossil Beach, right off of the highway beyond Salt Creek. It's about half a mile beyond Cannonball Road. See that one sign says school bus turnaround. There really is no sign to Murdock Beach right off the road. You have to pull off at this point and go down this gravel road, and then you will come to a sign that says Murdock Beach Picnic Area. This is a DNR campground managed by the Department of Natural Resources. And go down this gravel road just a few miles. About 4/10 of a mile in off the highway, you'll come to a fork in the road, and make sure you bear to the right and follow the sign that says Murdock Beach. So this is the Murdock Beach parking lot. Once you've made it all the way down, it's only about 200-300 yards through a little trail down to the beach, the area. So it's a nice parking area right off the beach, good access to services, and a good place to park. So the hike is really simple through the barriers there, the boulders, all the way down to the beach. Well, this is Murdock Beach. It's a very beautiful and isolated beach located about 15-20 miles west of Port Angeles. It's a DNR managed beach with really easy access. The beach is covered with lots of round rocks and gravel beds. One of the things I've noticed the last few times I've come here is that it's covered with lots of objects that are very rounded, and they're basically fossils that would be called by some geologists concretions. They are objects that have been formed over the millennia, and formed around plant life or whatever it might be that created it. They usually have some kind of object in the middle of it, and they created some kind of fossilized object. You have round objects, cone-shaped objects, cylindrical objects, a lot of round objects, round rock type of fossilized objects. One of the things I've come up here today to find is they're embedded in the gravel beds are agatized fossilized seashells, and so I found a few up here, and so I'm going to try to see if I can find by digging in and exploring some of the gravel beds here. We'll see if we come up with any today to show you. But in all of these gravel beds, they have been known to pull out several types of fossilized agatized clams or different shapes of seashells. So I've been sitting down here in a gravel bed here on Murdock Beach, just digging through all the rocks and sands, and so what you pull out are different kinds of fossilized seashells, which is what this is, with some areas of agate embedded in it. And so in a few small places there, it has a little bit of agate, agatized fossilized seashell. Here's another form of a seashell with agate formed in it, with a little bit of a seashell formation, like the corner of some kind of cockle shell. I'm not sure exactly what it would be. I've found different kinds of pieces of agatized formations, whether that was seashell or some kind of tubular seashell life. And so this is what you're finding in these gravel beds right down here. It's agatized. It's like seashells that are turned into agate through the fossilization process. So I've been sitting down in these gravel beds and digging for a little while and looking for different things. I've been finding a few agates that I've been pulling out of there to put in the collection. One particular little agatized fossil shell was right there, a small little curling thing I found, and a few other agates that were embedded in the sand, and a few other interesting formations that were agatized. So there's lots of various things you can find, agate type formations and fossilized formations in the gravel beds down here on Murdock Beach. It's a beautiful afternoon. Come down here. It's not far off the highway, about a few miles off the main road. So here is the results of actually two visits to Murdock Beach, and looking for fossils and also agates on the beach. You'll notice that lots of various types of or shapes of formations can be found on Murdock Beach. They're all fossilized objects that have formed around different objects, creating these peculiar rounded shapes or elongated shapes. And what geologists do call these, they call them concretions, because they're like a concreted formation around a centralized object, like a piece of plant life or whatever. All of them have some kind of central core piece that formed the fossil. Also found in the midst of all of the gravel beds out there were lots of little small pieces of agate, and also some fossilized sea life or seashells that were actually agatized, formed and they became agates, but they were actually seashell to start with, like this one object, this corkscrew object, or this tubular object right here. Also, this larger fossilized seashell that with little small pieces of agate in some of the seams around the spiraling form. So it's just amazing to find all these things embedded in the gravel beds out there on Murdock Beach. And so even a few small pieces of sea glass were found right there, and that one just jumped out at me, that cobalt blue piece. So have a great time. If you want to know more information about Murdock Beach, or sometimes called Round Rock Beach, or also Fossil Beach, out beyond Joyce, Washington, you can see my website at pnwbeachcombing.com. And there'll be a field report about the Murdock Beach, what you can find there and how to locate it and everything. So have a great time going out and looking for amazing artifacts or treasures on the beach.